Okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're just at the top of the hour here, and I'm super excited about this webinar today. If you saw any of the promotions or the marketing for it, you're going to know that we were pretty upfront about letting you know that this one is not for the faint of heart. We are going to cut through some of the myths, and we're going to talk about the facts. We're going to get rid of a lot of emotion, and we're going to talk about what works. What doesn't with regard to social media marketing. But we're also going to talk in a larger setting about talkers versus doers. There's a lot of real estate agents that like to talk endlessly about some of the business challenges they have. And then, the top performing agents or doers, they actually do something about it. So that's what we're going to do. There's going to be some education in this webinar. There's also going to be some introduction to the Elevate solution by Elm Street Technology. So I just want to make that very clear up front. We are actually doing this, which is very rare. We hold a lot of educational webinars. This one's a little different. There's education. There's some statistics from the industry, but we're also mixing that with what our solution actually does to solve some of these problems. So you're going to get a little bit of everything. If you're interested in learning about social media marketing and best practices so that you can do things yourself, you're in the right spot, because we're going to show you what you need to be doing, and we're going to give you the kind of the do's and don'ts of what you need to pay attention to. Additionally, if you're at a stage in your business where some of these things that I'm going to be talking about are ringing true, and you really need some help doing it, well, we're going to mix and match kind of in our solution so you can kind of compare and contrast as we go through this. What are the things you need to be doing? Which are the things that you have time and want to do yourself? And which are the things that a solution like Elevate can actually do for you should you want to make that decision to get some help? So let's go ahead and dive in. Talkers versus doers, which are you? I guess I should start, at the top of this. My name is Frank Chimento. I am vice president with Elm Street Technology, and primarily I focus on brokerages. I'm in charge of brokerage development, but I've been in this industry 25 years. Now, I have worked with every one of the major big box franchise brands, either as a consultant or as an employee. I've worked in some of the big tech companies, including Realtor.com, and have just been doing this a long time, worked with some tech companies as well. And so a lot of what I'm going to bring to you today is really 25 years of experience of working with peak performing real estate agents, peak performing teams, high-level brokerages that are really profitable and know what they're doing. And I'm going to share some of that information so that you can do what I refer to as avoid paying the stupid tax. So many people have gone before you and me, and we get to learn about some of the mistakes they've made and some of the things that they did very, very well. And we're going to boil that down and kind of consolidate it for you and give it to you in easy to chew chunks so that you can go out and start implementing things in your business immediately. So let's move through this. So first things first, let me give a little high level overview of what Elevate is by Elm Street Technology. What we do is we provide all of your core services in one solution. It's IDX website. It is a CRM productivity system. It's automated social media marketing, automated email marketing, blogs. It is blog content, video tours, lead generation, everything in one program, fed by and driven by the MLS. And it's one username, one password, combines all your core services. So in a nutshell, that's what the Elevate solution is. And we're going to break down some of these pieces and parts and talk to you about best practices for what you're currently doing in your business with regard to social media and so on. So let's dive into it right off the bat. When we talk about some of the, what's a talker versus a doer is, this is a little a saying that I've heard for a very long time. It rings true, but it's really accurate. In business and in life, you get what you focus on. So the question then becomes, as a real estate agent in this industry, what is it that you're focusing on? Are you focusing on growth, efficiency, and climbing the ranks? If not, you should be. And let me tell you why you should be. This is data I've pulled data from a lot of different sources, from NAR, from Swain Poll, from Inman, from Riz Media, a lot of the folks that are doing research and collecting data in our industry. And this is really interesting to me, is the top 20% of agents nationwide currently represent 85% of the listings that are available in the market, and they represent 55% of the buyers. They also happen to have the lowest operating costs. Now, think about this for a second, and why I say your focus should be on being in the top 20%. Start with your office. You want to focus on being the top 20% in your office, in your local market, and in the country. And here's why. If you are not in the top 20% of agents nationwide, think about what this means. As it comes down to listings, you're essentially competing with 80% of the real estate agents in the market for only 15% of the listings that are available. Now, that's crazy. None of you would willingly wake up in the morning and go to work against those kinds of odds. But that's the reality if you're not in the top 20% and if you don't have a goal and a focus to be there. If you're not in the top 20%, you're competing with 80% of the agents in the industry for 45% of the buyers that are out there. So, I think it was Gary Keller who said on stage right before this shutdown, or not on stage, on one of his webinars, he said that, the real estate market is shifting. It's not shutting down, but the pie is getting a little smaller, and you're going to have to work a little bit harder to get your piece of the pie. And that is absolutely demonstrated if you don't have a goal or a plan for getting into that top 20%. That really should be your focus. And it's going to help you be more efficient. It's going to help you climb the ranks, and you're also going to have lower operating costs as an indirect result of climbing the ranks and becoming one of the top 20% of the agents in your local marketplace. So really important that you have that focus. In life and in business, you're going to get what you focus on. So I want to start with a quick poll question. And by the way, I didn't mention it, but there's a chat window up at the top. I should have done this up at the top of the webinar, and I didn't. I'm always eager to get right into it. But we've got Ashley helping us out, and Aaron and Cheyenne, and they're here to help and answer questions. So in the chat window, there's an opportunity, to leave a message. You can answer. There's a question and answer section, and there's also a polling section. So we'd like to start with a poll because I'm just very curious about the audience that we've got here today. Are you in the top 20% of production in your local market? If you go to that poll up at the top, you can answer that poll question. We would love to hear from you and find out if you're currently in the top 20% of production in your local market. Also, we are going to be doing throughout the process of this, and after this is over, we have a team of social media marketing experts that are going to invest time, totally free, no strings attached. That if you type in the chat window, schedule me, they will reach out to you and schedule a one-on-one consultation with you and actually walk through your social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. They'll take a look at your IDX website, and they will give you some tips and tricks and shortcuts on things you can do to be better at it. So take advantage of it, absolutely free, no strings attached. It's something that we're doing for agents in the industry, really ramped up when all of this COVID stuff started, and everybody was home and trying to learn and get better at what they do. And we are providing that service absolutely free to you. So please take advantage of it and just simply type schedule me into the chat window, and we'll take it from there. So as we go through, what do doers in the industry focus on? What is it that they're spending their time on? This is a really critical thing with regard to where agents spend their time blocking, so on and so forth. And this is kind of striking and kind of shocking to a lot of real estate agents, but here's the reality. Talkers talk about doing all kinds of things. Doers focus on these four quadrants, really. And what it is number one, they spend 50% of their time on business development activities and farming their pipeline. And so that is really important. And you need to compare this to what you're doing. If you're not spending 50% of your time on business development activities and your pipeline, which is like your sphere of influence, that you're making a mistake. And this is what the top 20%ers are doing. This is what the doers in our industry focus on. Number two, they focus on active client activities. That's 25%. of their time. Now think about this. You have a fiduciary responsibility to those people that are active, which means they've agreed to hire you to either represent them as a seller or as a buyer. And also your pending, which is people that are under contract. So you have a fiduciary responsibility, and between the two of those, about 40% of your time should be spent there. 25% on your active clients, 15% on your pending clients, and then you want to spend about 10% on new inquiries. These are people that have, come across the transom in one way or the other, and they've reached out to you and they're inquiring about properties or they're kicking tires. You want about 10% of your time. Now, why do I talk about this? Here's why. Most agents struggle with what I call heart monitor pipelines instead of having consistent pipelines that are moving up and to the right. And a heart monitor pipeline, simply put, looks like, this is the way it goes, is when you've got a client that you're working on, your actives and your pendings, real estate agents tend to stop marketing. And so they see a dip, their marketing goes down. Well, so does their activity down the road. And then they get their clients across the goal line, they've closed deals, and now they start marketing again. And they've got these big highs and lows in their business. We don't want you to have that. That's really inefficient. It's an epidemic in our industry, and I want to help you change that. I want to help you keep a constant, consistent upward, trajectory to the right. Now, how do you do that? Well, it's really simple, and it can be complex at the same time. Simple meaning, while you're busy doing what it is you do every day, you have got to have systems and processes in place that are essentially keeping your pipeline cultivated and nurtured as you're going through the process. While you're sleeping at night, you need tools that are actually working for you. And that's what this webinar is designed to do. Now, on the last webinar that I did, this chart blew people away. Feel free to grab your phone and screenshot it if you'd like to, because this one really ought to be posted in your office, and everything you think, say, or do ought to revolve around this. Here's what we've done. We've taken a 40-hour work week. I know some of you are laughing and saying, boy, I'd love to only work 40 hours a week in real estate. But on a 40-hour work week, if you take 4 weeks off a year to play golf or go on vacation or what have you, you're working 48 weeks per year, which is about 1,920 hours per year that you're actually working on real estate. Now, we've broken it down because I really think this is important. As a real estate agent, you need to understand what is the value of your time. In 25 years of working with agents, I will tell you this is the biggest mistake that most agents make, is they have no concept or appreciation for the value of their time. I'll share a quick anecdotal story. I had a lady that was at a high-end luxury brokerage in Hilton Head, South Carolina. And she absolutely loved staging multi-million-dollar homes. And I was consulting with her, and she would run around town, and she would go to all these antique stores and thrift shops and whatever it was and buy all these little knickknacks and items to stage these properties. And we were going through it, and this woman made an incredible amount of money. She was about a $73 million a year producer. And if you can imagine, her cost per hour was extremely high. And we found out that she was spending somewhere on average 9 to 10 hours per listing staging a property. And it came out to somewhere around, $10,000 roughly in her cost and her time. And, and I asked her a hard question. I said, is this staging going to net you $10,000 more in your commission? She said, probably not. I said, is this staging going to net you a savings of, in other words, you're not going to lose $10,000 in commission by getting a little bit higher price? She said, probably not. And I said, well, then you could probably hire a team of people to do this for a fraction of the time for a lot less money. And here's what I mean by this. Let's talk about social media marketing for a minute. How much time do you spend, on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and doing things correctly, and your IDX website and your CRM and managing your pipeline? Think about that. Let's take social media just for one thing. If you're spending a minimum of 10 hours per month, which is nothing, guys, that's absolutely nothing in the big picture of being effective on social media. If you're only spending 10 hours a month doing it, look at what it's costing you. If you are a part-time real estate agent only earning $36,000 a year, it's costing you $18.75 per hour to do that yourself, or $187.50 per 10 hours that you invest. Think about that. Think about all of the other tasks that you spend your time on. I would strongly encourage you to take a screen grab of this and put it in your office. And every time you feel pulled to go, clean that home or sit in that open house or whatever the case may be, think about what it's actually costing you, because you can't get back the hours in the day. We only have 24 of them. And unless you're smarter than me, I haven't been able to figure out how to get a 25th hour in the day yet. So it's really important. We're going to come back to this, and we're going to keep visiting this a little bit, because everything that I'm going to talk about really comes back to, hinges around, centers on, what is it that you're doing with your time? Are you focused on the highest and best use of your time? Are you focused on the activities that are going to move the needle the most in your business? And if so, at what cost? That's what you need to be focused on if you want to be a doer, not a talker, get into the top 20%, and you want to become a profitable real estate agent, not just a busy real estate agent. So as we walk through this, let's do another quick poll here. At the top of the screen underneath the polling, you should be able to see this poll up here. I think we need to go on to the next poll. Let me see if we can find that next poll. The time spent on social media. Let's take a look at that. So when we look at this, it breaks down to how much time are you spending on social media marketing? Are you doing none? Are you spending less than 10 hours a month, which is about 2.5 hours a week? What about 10 to 15 hours, 15 to 20 hours, or more than 20 hours? If you're spending more than 20 hours a month, that means you're spending somewhere around 5 hours per week, or more than 1 hour per day on your social media marketing. So go ahead and fill out that poll, and I hope that poll is working. If that poll is not working correctly, feel free to somebody reach out and just let us know, and we'll get that thing flying for you and making sure. So let's keep rolling through this. This is an important concept to really get on top of, because talkers think like they think like employees, quite frankly. Doers, they think like CEOs. And when you break this down, you go back to that chart before, profitable CEOs don't make $25 per hour decisions. And they don't perform $15 per hour tasks. We have a CEO in our company, Prem Luthra, incredible guy, great guy, strong leader, and great culture builder. And he's busy. In fact, he's whether you say fortunately or unfortunately, he is surrounded by a leadership team that is constantly reminding him of, hey, Prem, I've got this. You don't need to be spending time on this kind of a decision. Go do what you do best that I can't do. Go be the CEO. As a real estate agent, you're the CEO of your business. Are you thinking like an employee, or are you thinking like a CEO? Are you making $25 an hour decisions, or are you performing $15 an hour per hour tasks? And do you need to be designating some of these activities and tasks? How are you spending your time and your money? And so when you think about it, the talkers waste time and money. They do it all the time. And you know it. You've got them in your office. They sit around. They chat about all the different things they need to be doing. Meanwhile, they never really do them. Doers delegate. And this is everything from like social media marketing, cleaning. I can't tell you how many times I hear real estate agents talk about how they've been cleaning houses because they had to. And delegate it, guys. Your value of your time is too valuable to be cleaning houses. Staging, creating marketing collateral. Get somebody to help you with that stuff. It's too expensive for you to be doing it. The cost of your own time is too much. Shopping for gifts, taking photos, playing around with the latest gadgets. I have a lot of people that I know and have known forever that like to play with drones and all of that stuff. And I say, great, if you enjoy doing it, just recognize it comes at a cost, and you need to be aware of that. And what is it costing you to do that? Talkers spend most of their time on non-revenue generating activities. They always are talking about what they should do. I did a seminar one day, and I'm not sure the joke went over real well, but I was talking with the agents. I said, how many of you, we were talking about just overall health and well-being. And I said, how many of you believe you should be going to the gym more? And how many of you believe you should be eating better? And how many of you believe you should be, working on your sphere of influence? And how many of you should be cleaning up your CRM? And everybody was raising their hand. I said, oh, great. It looks like we've got a room full of people that should all over themselves all day long. So I'm not sure if they got the joke or the play on words, but that's the truth, folks. Talkers should be doing everything. Doers actually do it. Doers are all about the money. It's often stated peak performing agents spend most of their time on revenue generating activities. And here's what that looks like. Maintaining a consistent pipeline. They don't have the heart monitors. They know that while they're working with their clients, they've got systems and processes that are keeping the pipeline going. They're negotiating. That's what doers do. They negotiate deals. They're executing contracts and closings, and they're training. This is something that gets overlooked. I know the very popular movie, Glengarry Glen Ross, Alec Baldwin is famous in there, and he writes on the board, ABC, always be closing. And when I spent some time with Tony Robbins, he said something that was really important. He said it ought to be ABT, always be training. And I will tell you that doers, top performing agents, they train. That's what this webinar is. Those of you that took time out of your busy days to sit on here and listen to a talking head like me and maybe glean a few nuggets of information, you're training. This is what you're doing. You're trying to get a little bit better. You're trying to become more efficient and more effective, and you're trying to be all about the money, because that's what we want to teach you how to be. So again, as a recap, and we're going to dive into some of the social media channels now, get into some educational stuff. But we're talking about Elevate here. It's IDX website, it's CRM, it's email marketing, it's blog content, social media automation, and the list goes on. When we go through our platform, the platform has got a dynamic IDX website. And it is going to, I hope you guys can hear me okay. It's giving me a message that I've got an unstable internet connection. We've been going up and down all day, but we're going to give you a website. It's dynamic, it's active. What does that mean? Why is that important to you? A dynamic website, simply put, means that there is information and content that's changing on the page, and it's not just the MLS data. Believe it or not, Google hates these websites where they're static and there's nothing changing on them. The only thing that changes is the MLS data. That's an MLS database driven feed, and Google actually penalizes you for it. So what does it mean to have an active dynamic website? It means your IDX website needs to have changing content all the time. That forces the search engines to index you and find you, and they rate you higher. Now, let me say something that's really important for everybody listening here for social media, for your IDX websites, is you got to think of this, I think of it as train tracks, okay? There are two parallel tracks that need to be running in your business at all times. Number one is what you're doing for your customer base, your contacts, your clients, okay? Meaning the content that you put in front of them, the value that you provide for them. And we're going to break that down and go into it on social media channels, what you should be providing. But one channel is what you do for your customers to keep them engaged. But there's another channel that gets overlooked, and it's equally as important, is how you provide that content so Google, Bing, Yahoo, and Facebook like you. There's content you provide, and there's a way you provide it that is going to rank you higher, allow you to be found more likely, and do things that please, the powers that we need to be, embedded with. So we're going to talk about that. And so an active dynamic website is going to do that. Now, what makes this different from yours? 90% of the time, real estate agents have a website that was given to them by their brokerage or something they got free from the MLS. And it's really not even typically a website. It's usually a page that's hanging off of the brokerage website. And it's driving all the SEO value back to that brokerage website. So it's not really about you. It's not really about your business. You also need to have a portable website. Here's something that's really mind-blowing to real estate agents. A couple of little pieces of data is this is not talked about in the industry, but it's absolutely true. Is the typical real estate agent switches brokerages about every 5 to 6 years. And you need to think about that. I know right now you're totally happy. You're not leaving. You're not going anywhere, but one day you might. And if you do, you need to make sure you can take your IDX website with you. You don't want to build all that SEO value. And SEO, by the way, is search engine optimization. We're going to dive into that a little more. You want to be able to take your website with you. And now, does that mean you need to get rid of the website that your brokerage provided for you? No, not at all. You can have more than one website. There's nothing wrong with it. Make sure you have one that's your own. Make sure it's dynamic. Make sure there's content changing, and make sure it is mobile optimized. Mobile optimized meaning anybody can look at it on their phone and it resizes and reformats the website. Okay, that's critically important. 92% of consumers are searching for properties on their mobile device. And you've got an old website that isn't mobile optimized, you're done. You're out. You're not even in the ball game. They will not even play with your website. So make sure you have a mobile optimized website. Integrated blog. Okay, now we do this, and this is really important about blogging. We're going to talk more about it. I'm giving you an overview of the different pieces that you need to be paying attention to, and then we're going to dive deep and give you some helpful hints on all of these. But integrated blog, what do I mean by integrated? We have a lot of real estate agents that before they came to us at Elevate, they had a blog sitting out there somewhere. It wasn't connected to anything. It was just a blog site. Maybe it was on Blogger or a WordPress site or something like that. Guys, you need your blog embedded, integrated with your IDX. Your blog is the #1 way to create search engine optimization value in the eyes of Google and the search engines. And so if you just have it sitting out there by itself, great, it's generating SEO value, it's getting found in the search engines, but what good is the blog alone? It needs to be in your IDX website. What's the goal of the IDX website? You want to let consumers search for properties. That's the money ball. That's where you want to be. So you want your blog to be embedded inside your website. If you don't have a blog embedded in your website, when you get off this webinar, go figure out how to get that done, because it is that critical to growing your business. And that's going to separate you from probably 95% of the agents in the industry that don't have it set up that way, and they're inefficient. So integrated blogs, they increase SEO value. You want to have auto posting of articles. Now, I don't mean any article. Big mistake. There are companies out there, Keeping Current Matters, there's a few others that I've seen out there. And I'll tell you, agents get all excited because they've got somebody automating content, but I'll tell you, it's a Trojan horse. They're actually curating content that drives customers to third-party websites and takes them away from you. So part of having an integrated blog is to create what we call a gated experience. You want to put a fence around your customers so that once you attract them, they never leave you. Let me share a little story. I'm kind of like the magician that gave away the secrets to the magic tricks. But when I worked at Realtor.com for years, we had an entire department that did nothing all day long but create social media content. And they would push that content out to real estate agents to put on their blogs and post on Facebook and all that. Why did they do that? Because real estate agents were starving and craving that kind of information. They didn't have it. Why did Realtor.com do it? Simply put, here you are. Think about this. You're a real estate agent. You've worked hard to get an audience, and you take a Realtor.com article and you put it out on Facebook or on your blog. People come and click on it. Where does it take them? It takes them back to Realtor.com. What do they do when they get to Realtor.com? They search for properties, and then they fill out a little lead form. And then what happens? That lead that you created gets sent to one of your competitors, or even worse, you bought that lead back from Realtor.com. So this happens all the time. I see it every day. It drives me crazy. On my Facebook, I'm partnered up with hundreds of real estate agents, and I almost have to not look, because it kills me that you work this hard to get people into a little gated experience, and then you send them outside your gate to other third-party blogs. So be aware of what your content is, where it's sending people if they were to click on it, okay? Very important. You want to have your listing updates, all your listings, status changes, price changes, all of that stuff, and transactions that you conduct. That all needs to be automated and put onto your blog. You need that. You also need some lifestyle content. Now, what we do at Elevate is we automate all of this for you. We do give you a blog. We embed it inside your IDX website, and then we automate all your content. We're posting lifestyle content on your behalf at least once a week. That all drives back to your IDX website, never takes people anywhere else. But we're also connected to the MLS, and we're taking all of your listings, all of your price changes, your status changes, and we're actually taking those and posting them automatically to your blog. You don't have to do a doggone thing. We do it automatically for you. We pull it from the MLS, we turn it into a great blog post, and then we're going to show you what we do with how we get that out to social media as well. And these are the things that you need to be doing on your own. Lead generation. If you're doing any of that, we've got some programs too, and we're going to dive a little. I'm going to skip over that right now because we're going to talk a little bit more about lead generation. But I don't mind saying it on this type of a webinar. A lot of agents are familiar with some of these, big brands like Commissions Inc. or Sync and Boomtown, some other products that do lead generation. It's pay-per-click. It's people that are going on Google and they're typing in, Clearwater Beach homes for sale. And they're getting captured, and then you're buying that lead from one of those companies. And I'll tell you, we do the same thing. We're all doing essentially the same thing. We've got little nuances on how we do it, and we have some unique ways of increasing the conversion rates, actually, with our program because of how we capture people and what steps we walk them through to qualify them. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure you guys all know, separate the myth from the fact. The fact is, we're all auctioning or bidding on keywords in an auction on Google. We're bidding on terms like Clearwater Beach homes for sale. And that's what we're all doing. And we're capturing those folks and we're giving them to you. We get asked all the time, how can you guys do what these other guys are doing for a fraction of the cost? I'm going to tell you, there's no silver bullet. There's no magic or mystery behind it. It's really simple. Business 101. We got together as an organization and we made a business decision that we were willing to go and do what all the other guys do, and we were willing to do it on a smaller margin, a much smaller margin. What does that mean to you? It means you get more leads for a fraction of the cost with a higher conversion rate. And that's it. So we're going to talk more about that if you want to get more into lead gen down the road. So let's talk about social media and what we need to be doing with regard to platforms. We want to make sure that we're pushing from your website. And I think this is messing up just a little bit. We're going to go and switch over here and go down to, we'll get out of that mode. I hope you guys can still see my screen. Let me know if you can't see the screen. But what we're going to be doing for you, and this is where it's really important, this is what you see as far as this cycle or this fence, all right? It starts with your IDX website, and then you've got a blog. And then you want to be able to, from your blog, you want to push your content, whether it's your listings or your lifestyle content. Your blog is the catalyst, okay? It's embedded inside your IDX website, so your IDX website's getting all the attention and the value. And then your blog has the content, and your blog automatically pushes your content to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Now, what is that doing? That's creating something called linking and backlinking. You're sending content out to Facebook. Facebook is coming back to your blog site, which is embedded inside your IDX website. Google is smiling from ear to ear. They love it. That's what they're in business for. They love links and backlinks. And that is what I'm talking about on that train track on This Is How You Do It. So we're going to talk about what content you need to provide. We're going to get into detail on that. But I want to emphasize, first of all, how you do it probably matters more than what you're actually doing or what content you're putting in front of them. How you're putting it in front of them is the most important part. This is what you need to be looking at. You need to compare this to what you're doing right now. You need a self-contained gated experience. IDX website, blog, social media channels. All right, that's how you do it. That's what doers do. This is expert level stuff. By the way, expert level also saves you an enormous amount of time because there's a lot of automation built in here. So let's go on to the next one. Automated YouTube videos. We do that as well. So you've got a listing. We take that listing, we stitch all the photos together, we create a YouTube video out of it, we create a blog post out of it. Now, why do we do that? If anybody knows, who owns YouTube? Google. You think Google likes video? You better believe they like video, and they don't really care what the video is about. They don't care how good it is. They don't care how great of an editor you are. And guess what they care the least about? They don't care at all about what you think you look like on camera. By the way, neither do your customers. Agents are always very insecure about it, and they're worried about getting on video. And I'm just going to tell you right now, get over yourself, move on with it. Your customers love it. It's an opportunity to build rapport. And be likable. And Zig Ziglar said it best. People buy from people they like. So be likable. Use video. Use FaceTime Live. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. But YouTube videos are a big part of what we do as well. Automated email campaigns. You want to have this. It's got to be part of your CRM. If you don't have automated email, get a CRM that has it. That's critical. The other thing is you don't have time to be spending and designing. There's a couple of programs that are out there in the market, and I have agents that complain a lot about it because they talk about how in order to create an email, they've got to go learn HTML coding and they've got to learn all these things. Guys, don't do that. If your system is that archaic, get rid of it, move on. You'll do yourself a favor. There's a lot of great programs out there. Our system, for example, we've got literally hundreds of campaigns that are already pre-baked. And if you can click in a box and type, you can edit your email and send it out. If you can drag a picture and drop it where you want it, you can edit an email and send it out. It's that simple. You need it to be simple. You don't have time. It's too expensive to be sitting around creating marketing collateral. You need a system that does it for you real quickly and real easily. Now, we're going to dive into more educational stuff and some best practices. But I know there's some of you that are saying, you know what? I didn't expect this, but I need this stuff right now. So I want to jump on it. So what we've done, if you have seen enough, it's something you want to sign up for, I'm going to tell you a little bit about an offer that we're making a little bit later on, but feel free to do a couple of things. You can either hit this link that's in here, and Ashley and Aaron and Cheyenne should be putting it in the chat window for you as well. But you can also, in the chat window, type schedule me. And we will have one of our social media marketing experts reach out to you totally free, no strings attached. And we'll actually walk through your social media channels for you and give you some helpful hints and some tips and feedback and kind of let you know how things are going with it and how that works. Okay. So make sure you take advantage of that. A lot of agents are doing that. And we're just happy to do it. Look, we love getting under the hood with you and figuring out what we can do to help you become more efficient at social media marketing. Let's dive into some of the ideas of what we need to be doing. Excuse me. The best social platforms, okay? There's all kinds of stuff out there in the industry right now. I mean, heck, during this COVID shutdown, if I see one more TikTok video, I'm going to lose my mind. But you'll notice TikTok's not on there. There's a lot of things that are not on here. So why did we put the channels on here that we chose? A couple reasons. Number one, your time, okay? If you've got limited time, limited knowledge, limited resources, you need to focus on the channels that are going to move your needle the most, okay, in your business. Don't be wasting time with stuff that's not going to move the needle. You've got limited time. I'd rather you go shake babies and kiss hands, as I say it, jokingly, but this is where you want to focus, all right? Blogging, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and to some degree, Instagram. Now, why do I say to some degree? Well, because real estate agents seem to love Instagram. Here's the problem. Instagram, owned by Facebook, they haven't figured out yet how to build in SEO value in Instagram. So there's really not a lot of value in Instagram. Now, let me say that with a big asterisk, okay? If you are currently doing things on Instagram and customers are actually reaching out to you as a result and you're getting business from it, by all means, don't stop. Keep doing it. We're not going to focus on it during this webinar because we've got limited time, and I want to give you best practices on the channels that I know are going to move the needle in your business the most. So let's dive into it. Your website. It's your online fingerprint, okay? It's connected, to everything. It's your online lead generation. It's your centerpiece for that. Here's what you want it to be. You want it to be simple. You want it to be neat. You want it to be clean. Now, I'm going to say something that ruffles a lot of feathers here, because I understand there's love-hate relationships between the portals like Zillow and Realtor.com. But here's the one thing that nobody can deny. Zillow is still the #1 visited consumer portal in the industry. Now, when you go to Zillow, what do you see when you get there? You don't see much. You see a big high-resolution image with a search box front and center. Guys, that's what your website needs to look like. That's what consumers want. You'll notice on the little images here in the background, I've got an X over a website that is the typical agent website. It's got all kinds of stuff on it. I'm telling you, that's usually what I would call a glamour site or an ego site, because that matters to the real estate agent, but it matters almost nothing at all to the consumer. Consumer doesn't care about you or reading your profile until after they've had a chance to figure out if you can provide them with some value. That comes later. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying it's not important on your IDX website front and center. You'll see in the foreground there, the check mark is over a website. That's an example of one of our sites. Big, high-res image search bar. We want to get your customers into your IDX, searching for property, searching through the MLS, liking, favoriting, setting up searches so that you can be tracking all that. You want to make sure it's independent and it's portable and it goes where you go. We talked about that a little bit earlier. If your website can't leave and go with you, if you were to leave your brokerage, get another website. and invest your money and time into that website that's going to stay with you and build the SEO value for you, not your brokerage that your website is hanging off of, okay? You want to make sure you've got an MLS feed. I'm still stunned at how many realtors have a website and there's no IDX search capability. There's no MLS feed coming through it. That's bad. Mobile responsive, got to have it. Flat industry. If you're not going to invest in a mobile responsive website, don't get a website at all. You're wasting money. I don't care if it's costing you $5. It's a wasted $5. You're better off having a shot at selling the Starbucks girl behind the counter a house one day than you are using a $5 website that's not mobile responsive, okay? The other thing that I see missing from a lot of agents' websites is lead capture. They don't actually have lead capture on their website. They'll have IDX search functionality, but there's no place on their website where a customer could actually reach out to you or inquire. Now, I see things like call me and they've got my phone number. Well, if they're a millennial customer, which is almost half of the buying audience right now, they're not calling you. So your phone number is irrelevant. It's worthless. And the other thing is on lead capture is make sure you've got lead capture. Make sure you're also advertising your social media handle so people know how to follow you on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. That's something else we'll dive into. Blogging. Let's talk about blogging. Why blog? Well, you're the expert in your field. Content is king. We hear it all the time. Content is king. Well, that is true. Content is king, and the search engines love it. And it's also, your blog is your #1 search engine optimization builder. And so when that's embedded in your website, who's getting the benefit? Your website and you. So that's really important. When you start blogging, it's like blog, within your website, what to blog. This is a big question that we get all the time. Frank, what do I write about? I look at it this way, guys. I think as real estate agents, we sometimes overthink things. Anybody ever accuse you of overthinking things a little bit? I bet they have. Think about, before the shutdown, when you could just go and roam the aisles of the grocery store at leisure, think about what did people ask you in the grocery store? That's what you blog about. What do your customers actually talk about? What do they want to know about? What's going on with mortgage rates? What's the myth and fact between mortgages? Are the interest rates really that low? Are the programs high? Are credit scores going up, as far as minimums? That's what you want to blog about. Real estate information. That's what you want to blog about. Lifestyle information. You want to talk about what's going on in the local community. You want to be a community leader. I'm real big on businesses, and I'm going to give you some helpful hints on that. Listing updates. You absolutely want to blog your listings. That is really, really important. And then hyper local. Having programs like ours where we provide lifestyle oriented, relevant, yet a little bit generic content, regional focus, you want to be able to get into the hyper local stuff as well. You also want this to be automated. Why do you automate it? Because it's great for you to blog on your own. But again, we go back to what your time is worth. So if you don't have time this week to blog on your own because you're busy with your actives and your pendings, you need a system that's automating your social media and your blogging, content so that you can stay in front of folks. All right. So we're gonna dive a little deeper into what you blog and how you go about it. Businesses. Guys, if there's one takeaway from this webinar that you all remember, I would say it's probably this screen. Is you should already be networking with local businesses. And I can't tell you how easy it is to look like an absolute rock star in your community by just partnering with businesses. Think about it. Everybody's trying to rebound from this shutdown. Who needs promotion more than anybody right now? Your local businesses do. So when you go out to dinner, or you go get your hair done, or you go get your nails done, or you go drop clothes off at the dry cleaner, talk to the manager. Let them know, hey, I've got this website, I've got this blog, I've got all these social media channels. I do a lot of marketing to the people that live within miles from your front door. I'd like to promote you to them, but I'm very busy and I'm limited for time. So do me a favor. Would you mind? I'll hang out for a few minutes. Go in there while I'm sitting here eating dinner. Go in the back kitchen and write 3 paragraphs about your restaurant. What makes it unique, what makes it compelling, and what you love about being in this community. And then give it to me. I'm going to go put that on my blog, and I'm going to push that out to all my social media channels. Guys, I don't want to turn real estate agents into bloggers, okay? I just want to make you look like an expert blogger, and you do that by leveraging the resources of other people. Get the business owners to write 3 paragraphs about their, what's unique about their business, and then you take that, cut and paste it into your blog. Problem solved. Got all kinds of cool content. Now, let me give you another idea. Video. Pull out your iPhone or your Android and say, hey, Joe, the pizza guy, I love coming in here and I think you're awesome. And you mind if I pull out my camera and get a little 30-second video of you just telling everybody what you love about the community and what you love about your restaurant, what's unique about it? Because I'd like to take that video and put it on Facebook and put it on my blog and put it out all over social media and market you. There's not a business owner you can think of that will not let you do that. And not only will they let you do that, they'll be excited about it and they're going to reward you. It's called the law of reciprocity. You do something of value for them first, they do it back. What do you want back? You want discounts and coupons that you can offer to consumers. And now let me just share a story. I did something really, really stupid. So that's what I paid the stupid tax and I want you to avoid paying it. Here's what I did. There was a sushi restaurant in my town that I loved. And I went and said to them, hey, I'm going to go market this out to a bunch of real estate agents that I was consulting with at the time. And hundreds of them actually in this town. And I said, I'm going to go promote. I said, I need a coupon. But I don't want just like a BOGO appetizer, a buy one, get one free. I want something compelling, like 30% off. They gave it to me. Well, like an idiot, I went out and posted the coupon on Facebook, and people were like taking my coupon and going to that restaurant and eating with it, and I didn't even know who was downloading the coupon. They were just taking a picture of it and all this. And then I finally got smart because that was really stupid. I started putting on my blog and on Facebook things like, hey, if you love sushi, I have a 30% off coupon at Sushi Maru. If you love sushi and you like one of those coupons, private message me. And then when they would message me and say, hey, thank you so much, I'd love that coupon, I'd say, hey, thanks for reaching out. By the way, I send lots of coupons like this in my monthly email newsletter. Would you like me to add it so I can keep you up to speed with what's going on in the real estate community as well? And I use those coupons to capture people into an audience and provide value to them and hopefully build a relationship with them. So think about that. Think about your dry cleaner, your hair salon. Everybody's going to the hair salon now. In fact, I need to go, and go get a haircut. But, all of these local businesses that you visit every day, those business owners are trying to get access to the same people that you communicate with daily. I say, put them in your backpack and carry them along with you and let them come along for the ride and benefit from them by providing value to your audience, okay? This is really, really big, guys, really important. Think about Facebook and think about all the agents that you cross paths with. How many of them do this? Not many. Some of them will dabble in it and they'll do it a little bit hit and miss, but they're not consistent. And that's the one thing I can tell you with all this social media marketing, consistency is the key. I don't care what it is you're doing. Even if it's bad, be consistently bad, all right? But be consistent because that's what makes the long-term memory kick into gear with your customers. Blogging guidelines, all right? You want to do a blog a minimum of once per week. Whether it's automated content or something you're doing on your own, you want to do it a minimum of once per week. Photo and video increases the click rate. It also increases the likelihood that it's going to get re-indexed quicker by the search engines, which means you rank higher. 3 to 5 paragraphs with an engaging title, and you want lead capture. Make sure you have a way to capture people that are interested in learning more. So how do potential customers find your blog? Well, that's how they do it. I mean, you're gonna be posting your blog content out on your social media channels and drawing people back in. So your blogs and all your posts are going to hit your blog, and then they're going to automatically push out to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And that's kind of how you want to go through it. Let's talk about Facebook. What do you want to post? Well, absolutely you want to post your blogs. All right? Everything you post on your blog needs to be on Facebook. Photos and video, critical, man. People love it. And I want to show something, about Facebook Live. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But your optimized listings. People don't know what optimized listings are. An optimized listing, simply put, means you've got an address, because people actually Google search addresses. You've got an image, and you have a link that takes them to a lead capture page, whether that's in your blog or your IDX, okay? Now, here's what is probably my pet peeve on Facebook with real estate agents. If you look at the image to the right, you're going to see what a lot of these folks are doing. Allison is actually a customer of ours, and she's awesome down in Southeast Florida. And I've known her for a while, and I beat her up really bad over what she was doing. She was taking these curated articles from countryliving.com and putting them on there. And guess what happens when a consumer or a customer clicks on that article? They get taken away from Allison, and they get put into a situation where they're running into all of her competitors. That's bad. Don't do it that way. We talked about that. I can't emphasize it enough. But, your blog post, photos, video, Facebook Live. Let's talk about Facebook Live for a minute. As everybody's getting back into the gear of lifting some of the shutdown, and people are kind of putting their toe in the water to go back out, we're still going to have a little bit of an issue with showing homes, all right, and open houses and things of that nature. This is something that an agent did that I thought was brilliant during the shutdown. Is they could not get into homes and actually look at properties. But what they did instead is they had buyers that were looking in neighborhoods or looking at properties or wanting to look at properties. And so what the agent did was they took their phone and they did a Facebook Live, and they just went live and they drove through the neighborhood where a home was located. And they got out of the car in the front yard and they were looking around the house, not in the house, but they were showing the neighborhood, and they had already been in this home prior. And so they were just sharing the benefits of this home. They were talking about what this home was like. They were painting the dream, but they were also sharing the neighborhood and talking about how great the schools were and stuff like that. Guys, those are great to do for Facebook Live. Now, as you start getting back into open houses, here's another little helpful hint. A lot of people say, yeah, I know what you're going to say. Do a Facebook Live for the open house. No, that's not what I'm going to say. I'm going to say pre-market your open house. All right. So go into the home and do a Facebook Live, doing a quick walkthrough of the home, and do that live as a precursor to, hey guys, at 2:00 today, we're hosting an open house. We're going to have wine. We're going to have cheese. Come by and say hi. This home is beautiful. You do that with your Facebook Live to set up your open house that you're going to be doing a few hours later and try to draw some more people in off the street. So Facebook Live can be a variety of things. I really like it. I think it's effective. I don't think nearly enough real estate agents are using it. And so, if you want to be a top agent, a doer, not a talker, get engaged with Facebook Live. When we talk about the optimized post, I mentioned it earlier. This is just a little bit of a recap here. You want to have lead capture, a full listing sheet, and MLS IDX search. So the way we do this in our platform is we put your listings optimized onto Facebook through your blog. And it's got the address, it's got a lead capture form, it's got the full listing sheet. If they click on that, it's taking them right into the MLS. It's pulling up that listing detail page. All of that is here. This is critical. This is an optimized post. This is what it needs to look like. And this is unfortunately not what a lot of real estate agents do. What they do instead is what you see in this image on the right-hand side. I can't stand it. I said earlier, pet peeve. This is the pet peeve I'm talking about. Real estate agents will post a new listing that they got, and they'll take 5 photos out of the home, and they just put them up there. And if you click on the image, it just blows up the image. And they'll put something in the description, like, a little something about the house, and if you're interested, call me. Well, like I said, they're not going to call you. And you've done nothing to allow consumers to maybe not be interested in this property, but search for another property. So what do people do when they see those types of posts on Facebook? If they're really interested in that house, they're actually going to find that address and they're going to go look it up on Zillow, where they're going to run into, 150 agents that you're competing with that are all using, their concierge program, or worse, they're going to go to realtor.com and they're going to find an agent and get into Op City, and someone's going to be calling them in 30 seconds. So you don't want that, guys. So don't do those kinds of posts where they're just static images. You want to have your post optimized. Address front and center. You got your title. You've got your description. You click on this link. It pulls up the property detail listing page. There's lead capture. It's in your blog, which is embedded in your website. That's the way you do Facebook. Now, one other thing on Facebook. Just had a call from one of our sales representatives. Not a call, a chat between he and I this morning. And had a customer that wants to sign up with our program, and they asked the question. They said, I'm in Facebook jail. If I sign up for your program, will it get me out of jail? Unfortunately, nobody can get you out of jail but Facebook. But people often wonder, what is Facebook jail? Let me explain what it is. as a real estate agent, it is against Facebook's rules and regulations for you to post anything about your real estate or your business on your personal Facebook page. It's against the rules. Business is not allowed to be talked about. Now, realtors are guilty of it constantly, but Facebook is cracking down on it, and they'll put you in Facebook jail, which means they shut you down. You do not want Facebook jail to happen to you. It's horrible. All right? Now, here's how you do it. This is the proper way to do it. This is the best way to do it. You need to have a Facebook professional business page. All right? If you don't know how to set one up, type schedule me in the chat window, and we'll have our folks show you how to do it. We'll for free, we'll give you a consultation to show you what to do. But you want to set up a Facebook business page. This is where you post 100% of your real estate related information. Now, you post it there, and then when you go into your personal page, you link over to your professional page and you share that post back to your personal page. Now you've got that content on your professional page and on your personal page, but it keeps you out of Facebook jail because you're doing it the way they want you to do it. All right, that's the key. So I try to tell agents is, look, you're going to have the data in two places, which is better than one place. And currently the one place you're putting it is going to put you in jail. Don't do that. Put it on your Facebook professional page, share it back to your personal page. And if you don't know how to do that, in the chat window on this webinar, type in schedule me. We'll have one of our social media experts reach out to you. They will, for free, no strings attached, walk through your social media channels, give you tips, tricks, and shortcuts, show you how to do this. And it's okay if you're doing it on your own. You don't have to be one of our customers for us to help you with that. It's a service that we provide for you. We want to help you be more efficient at it. And obvious, the goal there is at some point in your business, you're going to realize you're too doggone busy and your time is too valuable to do all this on your own. And for probably a pennies on the dollar, we can do it for you, and we can do it better. So that's the goal. I mean, there's no hidden agenda there. It's just a matter of we will help you, and we hope that one day when you need help from us, you'll remember us and come back around. And that's the way we do it. So if you're interested in doing something, go ahead and type schedule me, or feel free to sign up if you want to jump on the program. I'm going to share some pricing for you here in just a minute. We've just got a few minutes left, and I'm going to walk through a few more things. LinkedIn, let's talk about LinkedIn. Super underutilized, all right? I have agents that ask all the time, on Facebook especially, should I connect or partner with other real estate agents? And I don't really care if you do on Facebook, but I will tell you this, on LinkedIn, if someone has an active real estate license and they can fog a mirror, you need to be connected to them. LinkedIn is the #1 agent-to-agent referral network in the country. It beats everything. There are massive amounts of agent referrals going on LinkedIn. You want to make sure you're on LinkedIn with a professional profile. You want to make sure you're connecting to other real estate agents, and you want to make sure agents know that you are the expert in Clearwater Beach, Florida, if you are living where I live. Now, couple of notes on LinkedIn. Do not be posting your opinion on whether or not you think Carol Baskin murdered her husband. LinkedIn is a business network. They are hardcore about all the people that are on there will hammer you if you put stupid personal stuff on there. They don't want to hear about that. Save that for Facebook, all right? LinkedIn is all about the business, or all about the Benjamins, as they say it, all right? You want to post your blogs. You want to post your listing activity. You want to post 2 to 3 times a week. And keep in mind, it's an agent referral platform. So you want to make sure that you are constantly not just looking for referrals, but you want to use LinkedIn to make referrals as well. And again, that law of reciprocity kicks in. If you do not have a LinkedIn channel or a LinkedIn page created for your real estate business, type schedule me in the chat window. Let us help you do that. We'll show you how to do that. Happy to do it. You got to be there. It's critically important. If you're not on LinkedIn in 2020, you're already there's no way you're a top 20% agent if you're not on LinkedIn. So you got to be there. It's not hard. It's easy. There's good stuff on there. Get your activity feeds going. Get your listings on there. Make sure your blog is pushing out to your LinkedIn, and you're good to go. Twitter. Let me start by talking about the millennials. All right, this is the #1 channel for millennials. It has the largest group of millennials. Now, what are the millennials? Everybody knows what they are or who they are. Here's what you may not know. They are the single largest demographic in the history of the world. There's more millennials than in any generation, any demographic age group since time began, all right? They are also going to inherit more wealth than any generation since the beginning of the world. So millennials, I think last year they were almost 50% or somewhere between 35 and 40%, I think it was, and increasing on the homes that were bought. They're going to be your next biggest batch of home buyers and sellers, okay? So you need to be on Twitter and you need to understand how to interact with them. The cool thing about Twitter, it's open forum. Open forum means you don't have to know somebody to follow them. You can follow anybody you want. And you can go see what they tweet. And you can get people to follow you. Here's the etiquette on Twitter. It's called follow for follow. If somebody follows you, you immediately go and follow them. That's just the way it's done. Now, why is that good? Because if you're following people, they're likely to follow you too if they're following Twitter protocol. It's just the way it works. You follow them, they follow you. If they follow you first, you follow them back. That's the way it works. You want to take your blog posts, push them out onto Twitter. You want to have 2 to 3 posts per week. You want to use, everybody says, how do I use hashtags? Hashtags are simply a filing system. That's all it is. So if somebody wants to look for something, they could type in like, hashtag Super Bowl. It's going to pull up all the tweets that people have posted that had something to do with the Super Bowl. Okay. So if I have a listing that's in Clearwater Beach, Florida, I might put that post or that URL and hashtag Clearwater Beach, hashtag real estate, hashtag homes for sale. That's the way you want to use Twitter. And again, I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but that's really the purpose of this is if you want to learn more about how to use Twitter, type schedule me in the chat window and we'll have somebody reach out to you and figure out how to get you scheduled. And we love doing that. That's what we enjoy doing. That's the whole point of this webinar. And that's the whole point of our company is to help you be more efficient and more effective with social media marketing to grow your business. We exist to help agents sell more homes faster. That's it. That's our goal. YouTube, we talked about it. I'm going to bounce through this one quick. Google owns it. Extremely high search engine optimization value. There's about 1 billion users. More millennials are on YouTube than they are than they do paying for cable TV. You want to put your video testimonials on here. When do you get video testimonials? I will tell you, typically you get them on the day of closing. And I'll tell you why. Every realtor I talk about jokingly says there's only 2 days that my clients like me. The day they hire me and the day they close. They pretty much hate me every other day in between those 2 things. And so if that's the case for you, be sure to have your camera ready to go and get a little video testimonial at the closing table when they're happy or at least faking it in front of other people. And then you want to share that testimonial on all your social media and you want to make sure you have that posted on YouTube. Any videos that you do, any pre-marketing. Really simply put, here's what I would do for a video. Focus on the benefits of a home, not the features, okay? Everything you have says feature, feature, feature. Your listing description talks about square footage, beds, baths, fenced in yard, yes or no, pool, yes or no. It's all feature focused. People don't buy features. People buy benefits. So use the video to highlight the benefits. It's not enough to talk about the fact that it's got a gourmet kitchen. Use the video to stand in that home and do a 30-second video of just showing the gourmet kitchen and talk about how awesome it would be to come home after a work week and have a glass of wine and entertain your friends in this beautiful gourmet kitchen. I mean, that's a benefit of having a gourmet kitchen, not the fact that you've got a gourmet kitchen. So talk about the benefits and use video to highlight the benefits, how beautiful it is to sit on your patio looking out over the pool and the deep water canal behind you as the dolphins swim by. I mean, that's a benefit, not a feature. That's what you want to use video for. So that's the way you want to use video. That's the way you want to use YouTube. I recommend 30-second clips. It's really good to do that. And again, I think of every home, every listing that you've got, think of what are the 2 or 3 benefits of this home. It's in a great school system. It's close to everything. It's in walking distance. You're a block from the beach. Whatever the benefits are to living there, that's what you want to make a 20 to 30-second video about, just to tease that property. Because what's the goal of the video? Get them to your IDX website so they can search for property. That's it. That's what you want to do. I want to get people searching, because if I get them on my Elevate IDX website, I'm tracking everything they do. I know how many homes they favorited, which ones they favorited, which ones they liked, which ones they viewed, if they set up a search for themselves, all of those things. I want to be able to track that information so I can have intelligent conversation with my customers. And that's what you want to be doing as well. The IDX website, I'm not going to hit this again because we've already been through it. By the way, one thing, let me just throw this out there. If you've got video on your homepage of your website, and by video, I mean, they call it animated GIFs or video animation, okay? I mean, like I see in Florida, we have it all the time. Everybody's got a website where it looks like the waves from the beach are rolling up. Guys, I'm just telling you, you may like it. You may think it's cool. Consumers don't care. They just want to search for properties. But here's the reality why I'm bringing this up. Get rid of that video. Get rid of that animation on your homepage. It pulls down the performance of your website massive, big time. And Google absolutely hates it. They hate video animation on your homepage because they're all about the consumer experience. They want speed and performance on your website. So for those of you that have that and you just love it, I'm telling you, trust me on this one, get rid of it. I know it looks good. I think it's kind of cool. The reality is I'm not interested in being cool. I'm interested in being effective. I'm interested in Google liking my website, and I'm interested in my customers being able to go in and search for properties because that's why they came here. It wasn't to see the waves trickling up on the beach. They already know that or they wouldn't be buying a home in Clearwater. Okay, so just keep that in mind as you go through it. So I get this question a lot, and I just wanted to mention it. Why don't I get leads from my current website? Well, there's 3 common reasons for it. First, nobody knows it exists because nobody's going and searching John Doe's website. They're just not. You might be pretty popular in town, but nobody's going out and searching for you on your website. The other reason is it's static. It's dependent on the broker's website, which means you're not getting a lot from it. The broker is. So you don't want to have a static website. You want a dynamic website. The other reason you're not getting leads is, quite frankly, you don't have a lead capture device on your website. This is typically the reasons people don't get a lot of leads from their website. The other reason is they don't have a blog. They're not pushing content to social media, driving people back to their website, getting their sphere of influence engaged. Imagine this novel idea. What if you had a website and the CRM with it actually invited people in your sphere of influence to visit your IDX website? Wouldn't that be great? That's what we do, obviously. I mean, I'm saying that kind of sarcastically, but a lot of folks don't have that functionality, and that's a big deal. You've got to invite people to your IDX, allow them to set up safe searches, do all that kind of stuff to stay up to speed with what's going on in the marketplace, and that's how you start getting traction on your website, and you will start generating leads if you're doing those things. So again, as a quick recap, what is and I'm going to tell you what we're offering here today. What is the Elevate solution? Well, it's an IDX website. It's an advanced CRM productivity system. I didn't even dive into that yet. The CRM is incredible. It's easy to use. Built it so my 73-year-old mother could use it intuitively, so it's not complicated. It's not going to overwhelm you. We're not stupid. We know the typical age of a real estate agent in the U.S. is 53 years old. The typical age of a real estate agent in the U.S. that sells 7 or more properties a year is 57 years old. The last thing 53 and 57-year-olds want to do is learn how to use a new technology system or a new piece of technology because you're too doggone busy. We've made it really simple. We've made it really intuitive. But the best part about it, it's all in one solution. No more bouncing around. Most agents are managing somewhere between 10 and 12 technology vendors. Think about it. You've got an IDX website, you got a CRM over here, you got a CMA creation program, you've got your MLS, you've got an email marketing program over here, you might do some stuff with social media over here. None of those things talk to each other. And I'm not even talking about your transaction management platform or your accounting platform or your forms management platform. I'm not even talking about those. I'm talking about your core marketing services. We've taken all of your core services and put it into one platform, one username, one password, all fed by the MLS. It's your CRM, it's your CMA, it's your automated email marketing, it is your social media automation, it's video, it's your blog, it's even lead generation. It's everything you need to run your real estate business, one platform. I'm big on only statements. As a realtor, you need an only statement. What is it that only you provide your customers that no other real estate agent provides? And that's a tough one for real estate agents because you all do roughly the same thing. For us, our only statement is really simple. We are the only provider, technology company in the real estate industry that puts all of this core technology into one platform. There are several systems that do pieces and parts of what we do, but we are the only ones that put all of this into one platform, one username, one password. If you'd like to learn more about it, type schedule me into the chat window. We'll go and take a look at your social media channels. We'll give you helpful hints and tips and tricks, and that's totally free, no strings attached. And then if you want a deeper dive into our solution, our folks would be happy to walk you through that, of course, because that's what we're here in business to do as well. Let me tell you what the offers are that we're promoting today. Let me go with one more poll question here real quick before I jump into the pricing, because this is really important. And I just like to know this. I'm just curious by nature. Which tech tools do you know you need, but you do not currently have or you do not yet have? Check all that apply. Is it IDX website, a blog, automated social media marketing? What are the tech tools that you do not have right now? So we're going to, let me go ahead and make that poll live. I think I have to do that to launch that poll and let it go, and you can check that out. But post all of the things that you know you need, but you don't currently have. That's important and good for us to know. And I'm very curious about it. So let me talk about two programs. We have a program called Elevate DMS, and we have a program called Elevate Elite, okay? I'm gonna start with Elevate DMS, and we'll be done here in 15 minutes max. And we're gonna offer a promotion on the platform that you can't get anywhere else, and you will not be able to get it after today. It will end at 5 p.m., and I'm also going to give a deal for the first 25 people that actually sign up for the program. What is Elevate DMS? Elevate DMS is almost everything that I spoke about today, except for the paid lead generation, where we're actually spending money on Google to capture people. Elevate DMS does not include paid lead generation. Here's what it does provide. It is your IDX website. It is your CRM and your productivity system. It is your embedded blog. It is the CMA wizard. It is your automated email marketing. And it is the automated social media marketing, which means we're going to go and help you. We're going to build out your Facebook channel, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, and your YouTube. And we're going to push content every week to your blog, which will then push it out automatically to all your social channels, as well as we're going to take all of your listing information from the MLS. We're going to turn that into blog posts and push that to your social media channels as well. And that is your new listings, price changes, your solds. We're going to do all of that for you. It's all in one program. It's our most common program. It's called Elevate DMS. It stands for Digital Marketing Solution. And let me tell you the pricing. We sell this every day across the country. Before the shutdown, we had a team that traveled the country and visiting with the MLSs and doing these boot camps for agents. And we normally sell that for $240 a month with a $700 one-time setup fee. Here's what we're offering for this webinar. It's a huge discount, guys, huge. It's $150 per month, all right? But your second month is gonna be free. It's a $250 setup, and there's a 12-month commitment to it. So guys, remember that chart that I showed you? When I go back to that chart and I take a look at what it costs for your time, you know, to be able to do this. If you're only making $36,000 a year and you spend 10 hours a month on social media, it's costing you $187. And 10 hours is nothing. With us, we can do this for you 24/7 for $150 a month. Now, here's the cool part. That $700 setup fee is only $250. But if you're one of the first 25 people that clicks on that link below or puts that link in and signs up today, we are giving you a coupon code. The coupon code is FC for Frank Cimento 2020. That'll let them know you were on this webinar, and we're waiving the setup fee. So the first 25 people are getting a waived setup fee. No setup fee. Got a great question here, and I normally don't answer questions yet, but Mary, thanks for asking that question. How do we keep clients from looking all the same and having the same content? So, great question. I love this question. So a couple of things. Number one, we have a system that is built where all the content that we produce it's randomized, okay? We have what we call a randomizer, so you're not going to be sending out the same content as other people in your MLS, on the same day. That's number one. Number two is, this is really an interesting, this question comes up all the time, but I will tell you what we've seen across, we've got almost, 60, 70,000 users across the country on our platform, different capacities of our platform. And what's really interesting is it's very rare that you've got the same people in your social media marketing sphere as other people do. So that doesn't really happen very often, but just to be on the safe side, we actually do randomize the content. And with regard to our websites, there's semi-customization available. I mean, we've got all kinds of different template structures and things you can change, color schemes, pictures, where you want things laid out. You can change all that stuff. It's really simple, point and click, and our marketing coaches are going to walk you through that and help you do that. So you can make this uniquely your own and still have automated content that's relevant to your customers going out without feeling like you're just cookie cuttering and pasting everything that everybody else has, okay? So quick recap, DMS, it's an IDX website, CRM, CMA wizard, automated email marketing, your blog embedded in your website, and then we're gonna create your social media channels on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, and we're gonna push social media lifestyle content to your social channels, and all of your listing information is going to come from the MLS, and we're going to push that out to all your social channels as well. That is the DMS program, and you can get that today for only $150 per month. The second month is free, and if you sign up today before 5 p.m. and you're one of the first 25 signups, we're going to waive the $250 setup fee. Okay? Guys, that is a massive deal. I hope that some of you are going to take advantage of that today. I really do. We also have, for people that want all of what I just mentioned, but they also want some additional leads, we have Elevate Elite. Elevate Elite is everything I just mentioned, but it includes a paid advertising campaign on Google, just like the Boomtowns and the Syncs, but for a fraction of the cost. And with larger lead volume and higher conversion rates. I'll tell you right now, and we'll wrap this up. I'm not emotional about lead generation. I'm very objective about it. I think it's a straight up numbers game. I've been doing this almost 25 years. I've worked with several of the lead gen companies, and I can tell you, I don't care what market you're in, what time of year, what brokerage you work for, or how long you've been in the business. Here's what we see on our Elevate Elite program. We see a conversion rate of 2 to 4% of the leads that are coming through, which means for every 100 leads that comes through the platform, you're going to close 2 to 4 of those. Now, makes it really simple math. You figure out what the commission is on a closed deal in your market, and if that's more than what it costs you to buy the 100 leads, you're golden. You've got a good positive ROI on your program. And that's what we see across the board. So I don't like it when agents get into, well, are these good leads or bad leads? They're leads, guys. You're going to convert 2 to 4%. It's a numbers game. It's mathematics. It's not subjective. It's not emotional. And guys, that doesn't go for us. That goes for everybody who does lead generation. It's not emotional. It is math, simple math. So what do? We're going to go out and help you. We're going to work with you. And you're going to say, hey, Frank, I want homes in Clearwater, Florida. Okay, great. We're going to go out to Google and we're going to buy all the keywords and auction and bid on those auctions. And we're going to grab people that are typing in Clearwater homes for sale. Here's what's really crazy. We actually have a section in there that we call portal diversion leads. Because believe it or not, even though I don't understand why, a lot of consumers will actually go to Google and type in Clearwater Beach homes for sale on Zillow. Now, why in the world wouldn't they just go to Zillow and type Clearwater Beach homes for sale? I have no idea. I can't answer that question. What I can tell you is Google shares with us the keywords that are used, and we see that all the time. So imagine if you could, for pennies on the dollar, capture people that were intending on going to Zillow and getting them before they even get to Zillow and pulling them into your IDX website where you've got them now. All right, so that's what we do with our lead generation program. It's targeted search engine ads. We're going to go capture people. We're going to pull them in, and we're going to let them know that they've got homes that meet their criteria, and we're going to give them value. Now, here's what we do with Elevate Elite. It includes everything I said in the DMS program. This is our Cadillac program, if Cadillac is still the pinnacle. Maybe it's Mercedes or Bentley. You know, this is our creme de la creme program. It is absolutely everything we do as an organization. It's an IDX website. CRM, blog, CMA wizard, automated email, automated social media, building out all your channels. And then in addition to that, we're going to go out and take money and spend it on Google and capture people and pull them in and add lead generation on top of all the other organic stuff that you're doing through our program. All right, we sell that every day for $899 a month. Guys, that includes 20 to 30 leads per month. That includes your advertising spend. All those people who used Sync or Boomtown, you're all jumping up and down right now because they charge a platform fee, and then you got to go turn around and double down on how much money you're going to spend on advertising. We don't do that. It's all included. It's self-contained, $899, $800 setup. But for the webinar today, we're giving you a huge discount, $150 discount off of this thing. All right? It's $749 a month. Now, here's what we're going to do, though. In the very first month, we're going to actually double the lead count. So instead of 20 to 30 leads, you're going to get 40 to 60 leads in the first month. Why do we do that? We want to fill your pipeline. We want to fill it quickly. The more we fill it, the faster we fill it, the closer you are going to be to having a deal close and spit out the other end of that funnel, okay? It's just a funnel, guys. It's mathematics, and it's a funnel. We're going to get them in there. We're going to have our system work them. You're going to work them. We're going to get them through that process, and you're going to close some deals. $749 a month. The first month, we're going to double the lead quantity. You're going to get 20 to 30 leads per month every single month thereafter. It's only a 6-month commitment, and there's a $250 setup fee. And if you sign up today, now here's the deal. Because of the deal that I'm promoting on this webinar, we don't have a sign-up link because our inside guys were freaking out because I'm offering something that they weren't set up to be able to offer. So here's what you got to do. If you want the elite program, in the chat window, type the word elite. And we're going to have somebody from our team reach out to you and get you signed up for elite. We are also, for the first 25, we're going to waive the setup fee. There's no setup fee. Guys, we're going to build everything out for you. This is not cookie cutter templated. We're building every one of these programs for you. We're going to do your lead gen. You're going to talk with your marketing coach. You're going to pick your areas you want to target leads from, what price points you want to get into, and then we're going to get busy doing what we do best, which is generate leads. We're going to get your IDX website set up. We're going to get your CRM set up. We're going to help you upload your database, make sure you get it started out in the right way, clean, ready to rock and roll. And then we're going to get you rolling, and we're going to get everything happening for you. That elite program is $749 a month. We're going to double the amount of leads in the first month. And if you're one of the first 25, we're going to waive the setup fee. Okay? I think we've got another question here. Do I have a screen that compares DMS to Elite? Yes, I do. And here we go. Your Elevate DMS is $150 per month. Your second month is going to be free with a $250 setup. If you sign up today by clicking on this link down here or in the chat window, we're going to waive your setup fee. All right. If you want Elevate DMS, which is all your social media marketing, your CRM, your IDX website, all that, and you want the paid lead generation on top of it, that's Elevate Elite. In order to get that, you need to type the word Elite into your chat window, and we will reach out to you. Now, we've got about 3 or 4 minutes left, and I just want to wrap it up. I'm going to, if anybody's got any other questions, we can answer or you know, ask questions or answer questions. I got a question here that says, oh yeah. So they're asking about the coupon code because I took that coupon code down. The coupon code, it's really simple. I'll have Ashley or somebody put it in the chat window. It is FC, like my name, Frank Chimento, FC 2020, FC 2020. Put that coupon in. That's going to tell our team that you were on this webinar. And if you're one of the first 25, it's going to waive your setup fee for you. So that's a great question. Thanks for that. And so the question from Mary is, the paid lead generation is the difference between DMS and Elite. Absolutely. You got it. You nailed it. The only difference between these two programs is Elite comes with the paid lead generation on top of everything else we do. So it's like Elevate DMS, let me rephrase it. Elevate DMS, IDX website, CRM, blog, all your social media channels. We're going to automate all your social media content for you. We're going to push it all out on your behalf. That's Elevate DMS. Elevate Elite, everything I just mentioned, plus we're going to go to Google, Yahoo, and Bing, and we're going to bid on auction keywords and find people you've never met before that are looking for property in your target area, and we're going to pull them in, and that's Elevate Elite. All right? 2 incredible programs. I really appreciate you taking the time for this. The last thing I'll remind you on is if you have not taken advantage of our team's desire to go and do a free consultation with your social media channels, please type the word schedule me in the chat box. We'll have somebody reach out to you and schedule you. And no strings attached. This was intended to be educational, but also intended to give you an overview of our solution. Why do we do that? Goes back to what I said at the very beginning. It's talkers versus doers. If you are one of those agents that just wants to talk about solving your business challenges, great. I just provided you with some helpful hints, tips, tricks, feedback on what you can do if you want to do it yourself. If you're a doer and you're focused on becoming one of the top 20% in your market, and you realize the value of your time, and you need all of this stuff I mentioned, but you don't have the time or the skill or the knowledge to do it on your own, guys, reach out to us. I promise you, there is no one in the industry that does what we do, all of what we do. Nobody does parts of what we do for the cost. I mean, it is dirt cheap, and I hate saying that about our own product and our services, but it is dirt cheap. If you only made $36,000 a year, your time would be worth $187 a month if you only put 10 hours into social media marketing. You can hire us for $150 a month. Your second month is free, waiving the setup fee, and we're going to do all of this for you, and we are going to be a true partner for you. With that, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to go here. I know that Ashley and Cheyenne and Aaron are going to hang on for a little bit in case some of you are still writing schedule me. You're typing in Elite. If you're interested in having one of our folks reach out to you, let us know. Really appreciate from the bottom of my heart you taking time out of your busy schedule. That means a lot. That's a huge compliment and an honor to us that you would spend it learning with us. And we hope you have a great day. And we hope that you will consider Elm Street Technology and Elevate. And we hope to help you sell more homes faster.